Hi everybody. So, a quick fix drugs. With that, I'm referring to biochemical drugs or medicine used in our modern pharmaceutical industry. And today I want to talk about that versus traditional medicine and some pros and cons for both of those systems. So, where to start? Biochemical drugs, which are the medicine used in in our modern pharmaceutical industry and dominant in Western society, which is a drug. So if you go to a doctor, your doctor, and you get something prescribed, most of the time this is a biochemical drugs. So it is a pill that you take, and that will take your symptoms away almost immediately. And why it does that? It is because this medicine is made from only one active ingredient from a plant. So in the laboratory, they look at the plants and they look at what is the active ingredient. And they only use, so they extract this ingredient from the plant and they only use this part. They test it in the laboratory, put it into a pill, and they, or in any other form of drug. So that this is a very high doses of this original ingredient. So that if you take it, it has a quite drastic effect up on the body, so that you will immediately get rid of the symptoms. Now, with these drugs, what I just want to address is that we don't always look at the long-term side effects. So, and the other thing is that we don't always look at the cause. So when we go to the first point for the long-term side effects is, especially when taking drugs or these kind of biochemical drugs on a long-term basis, we really focused on that it's helping to relieve the symptoms, but it's not looking at how is it, or maybe it is looking, but somehow it's getting more important, like the quick-term fix is more important than the long-term side effects that it has on the kidneys, the stomach, the liver, but also the overall life energy or life force. So your state of being, your energy level, etc. So it's not looking at the effect this has on the body on the long term. So why is the quick fix on the short term more important than the long term effects? The other thing is what I mentioned is that usually this is treating a symptom and it's not treating the cause. So the symptom, for example, is a headache or a pain in a certain part of the body, but the cause of the problem is something that is an imbalance that is causing these symptoms. So when we treat this headache or this pain in the body without looking at the cause of the disease, we take the pill every time when this pain is coming up or on a regular basis, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. But what we do with this is that because we treat the symptom, we give the cause of the problem the space to be there. It's not being treated. It's not getting our attention that it might need. So if we treat the symptoms and we do not look at the cause, this cause might be something that is getting the space to do to have like a damaging effect upon the body, because we are not treating it and we do not have to worry about it because we're taking this pill and we're getting rid of the symptoms. So that is something else that I think it is very important to look at, that or to have it in mind, and to also see that there might be other possibilities. With this, I do not want to say I am against the biochemical system or biochemical drugs. I just want to say, because I think it is having like life-saving effects, and it has enormous positive effects upon human lives. But I do want to say that there might be alternatives in less severe cases that is not damaging any that is not having like a damaging effect up on the body, and has actually a strengthening effect up on the body, up on the whole body, and up on the organs as well. So when we look at the traditional medicine right now, the difference is that the whole herb or the whole plant is being used. So it's not only one ingredient, but it's the whole herb. For that reason, the dosage is much lower. So if you have a symptom, you, instead of taking a pill, maybe you need to take 10 days of this medicine before you even start to notice a difference. And we do not always have these patients. But when we take the whole herb, it doesn't have a damaging effect up on the body that the manipulated pill might have with the high dosage. The other thing is that with traditional medicine, we always look at the cause of the problem. We're looking at the imbalance and we're treating the imbalance. And with treating the imbalance, the symptoms will go away. And sometimes there are different treatments for the cause and for the symptoms at the same time. It also looks at a herb as a whole, and it doesn't say where the biochemical industry is at. So if a herb doesn't have like this one strong active ingredient, it's not useful. In traditional medicine, it's not being looked at in this way because it looks at the complexity of the herb as well. So that ingredients which might be less strong might still have an effect upon the body, an effect that cannot always be tested outside of the body in a laboratory, because the body is a very complex system, and many times that a substance has a certain effect upon the body, or it's setting a process in motion in one of the bodily systems, and in that way it is a treatment. So there is another difference between those two systems of the traditional medicine and the Western pharmaceutical industry. And this is also the reason, so this is the last thing, because I think I want to cut this video because it's getting a little long. The last thing I want to say is like, so the difference is also that in the traditional medicine, a lot of herbs are being used, and from the biochemical models being looked at, this is not it doesn't have medicinal value, because it only looks at this one active ingredient, where in the traditional medicine, it looks at all of the ingredients, and also when you combine several herbs, they have different effects. So this is something that is not always, it's not always possible that this is being tested in laboratories or outside the body, taking those things into consideration, like the action in the body and the combination of the different ingredients of the herbs, and then looking at all of the ingredients. So I think that is where I'm gonna leave it right now. And what I just really, really hope is that we start looking a little bit more about at our traditional medicine, which might cure your symptoms and also the cause of your symptoms with maybe a little bit more patience, but it will have a longer lasting effect up on the body and a strengthening effect instead of a damaging effect upon organs or your energy, life force, etc. So that's it, and I wish you a very, very nice day. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.